32 FM, 94.9. We play the greatest hits of yesterday.
Today and back in the day.
And if you think about it, even tomorrow. 32 FM, 94.9.
32 FM 94.9. Filling the world with laughter.
After the tactics comes the play.
What's he going to do?
After the play comes the goal.
Could be the match winner from Lionel Messi. Ronaldo! Aguero, they'll do it. It's a terrific goal.
After the goal comes the uproar. It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
Can he play?
The best players in the world and their best plays. It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
The best players in the world and their best plays.
Magic again. Messi through four. Brilliant! Threads it in. And there's the goal from Pedro.
It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome to 94.9 32 FM. I am Peter Omo. What a weekend. What a weekend. I'll say that one more time. In terms of what happened from football to the NBA playoff, where I have to wake up in the early hours of this morning to catch up with one of the game, and that game went to Game 7. Tennis also and Formula 1 took place over the weekend. I know some other sporting headline also went down. A bit of boxing, middleweight bout went down over the weekend. But hey, maybe for some, what got them talking football. Maybe for some, it has to do with Formula 1 and watching what happened over the weekend. Also, you probably want to put some question mark on some of the drivers. All right, for tennis, it was good for Casper Ruud and also good for Aryna Sabalenka. All right, so the NBA also discussed that. The Flying Eagles not doing badly. In Egypt, they got a point against Morocco yesterday, good as it ended, and both teams on 4 points. Our last game will be against Kenya. All right, so the Kenyans, they lost to Tunisia by 3-1 in the first game yesterday. There will be games today. Senegal play against Ghana, and of course there will be one more of those games. All right, so before we go any further, one man earlier today says, you know what, I'm done playing football for Liverpool Football Club. I've won 2 league titles. I've won a couple FA Cup, EFL Cup, and what is it, Champions League. He also won. Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's done now. He's moving on. Unlike Mo Salah and Van Dijk, who says they're not going, they want to extend that deal for him. He's not going to do that. So take a listen to him, not me telling you further. Let him speak to us. Let him tell us how he says he's quitting Liverpool Football Club to go play where. Maybe SAMIES will tell us, or maybe the Lakwa will whisper to SAMIES where Alexander-Arnold will be playing football for 25-26 football season. Take a listen to the Englishman.
After 20 years at Liverpool Football Club, I'll be leaving at the end of the season. I think the decision for me is personal. To change environment, to challenge myself elsewhere. It's not about wanting to find something better. It's about me and my personal journey as a player, and I feel like now is the right time for me to go and experience that. People won't be happy with the decision, but it's something that I feel like I need to do on my journey and my career.
It's Alexander-Arnold! Oh, what a moment! The teenager!
The times that I've had here, the memories, the special moments are and will always be some of the best moments I'll have in my life, and memories that will live with me forever. And I'm eternally grateful to everyone who's helped me along the way. Being able to sit here now as a 2-time Premier League champion for the club that I grew up loving, it's a great end to the story for me. course, it's very emotional for me. It's all I've ever known. It's everything I've ever wanted to do, dreamed of as a kid. Yeah, it's just very emotional, if I'm honest, because the club, the city, the fans, the people have given me things that I could never have dreamt of in my wildest dreams. It's, you know, a journey that I've lived through that millions of people will dream of doing it, and I've been lucky enough to have been able to experience it. I'll never forget it, and I can't thank everyone enough for the support, the belief, the amazing moments we've had.
It's another stellar moment from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
The love I have for this club will never leave. It will never diminish. I'll love it forever. I'll forever be in debt to the club and the fans for everything they've done for me. And there's no doubt about it. I'll be back. Any chance I get, I'll come watch games. I'll be supporting. I'll be wanting the club to win, wanting the club to be successful. There's nothing changing in that. I will always remain a Liverpool fan.
All right, what a season for him. Maybe kind of scored the winning goal that got Liverpool the title against Leicester King Power Stadium. Came from the bench, scored, and the whole place went gaga. Samis is here with me. I know we saw this coming for weeks, for months, and the rumors is now confirmed that he's not signing a new deal. He's leaving. To where? Samis. It's good to have you join me, Samis, on the show. And like I said, what a weekend. In England, it's still the race for Champions League place. You can't be too sure. We know Liverpool is the champions. In Germany, Bayern don't need to kick a ball after they struggled in the game on Saturday, and you thought Bayer Leverkusen should get the job done against Freiburg yesterday. It ended 2-2, and that was it. And Harry Kane and the rest of the players were busy pumping some champagne. If they're doing Germany, I know those guys like those stuff. So PSG also, we know they're also champion in France. So it goes down to Spain and Italy. Where will all of this end? This weekend is going to be the weekend of the El Clasico. If Football Club Barcelona should win that game, then they are champions. But if Real should win, which I doubt, then you say the door is open. 4 points separating these two sides. They both manage to get the win over the weekend. And of course, in Italy, with Zoha is going down, Napoli say, you know what, we're not going to give up on this one. We're going to hold on to this lead to win the Scudetto. We'll come to all of that just to share a few of the things that happened over the weekend. Service quickly here. It's all about Alexander-Arnold. Is it about the numbers for you? Good to have you, Samis.
Definitely. It's so great to be here to come talk sports. And starting on that note of a man who spent 20 years with Liverpool Football Club, right from his teenage years into the age in which he's now 26, if I'm correct. And then with everything he has done for the club, you know, being with them in every trophy they won, we'll say in the modern era. Yeah, I would say that, and he's one of those modern fullbacks also in which you can point out there in the world of football. He has the technicality, some precision, some pinpoints across his and all of that, which definitely also puts him as one of the deadliest right backs or fullbacks there in the game of football. But what Arnold has done, what has impressed me the most is about his early rise into his football career with Liverpool Football Club. You know, in the finals, losing the finals, and then coming up with that magical moment. I don't think that moment is going to leave the heart of that's Liverpool fans. Even if you ask me, Barcelona fans, that moment is not going to leave their hearts because it was just a comeback for them in that game, playing that faster corner kick into the part of Divock Origi, who scored the goal, which made the tie much more one for Liverpool Football Club. For Trent, he has done everything so well, and I know a lot of people, pundits and football fans, maybe question his defensive work rate. That a defender who doesn't know how to defend, well, how do you term him as a defender? But then, you know, in the world of football now, we say the best way to attack is to defend, and probably the best way to defend is to attack. So those spaces you can give a Trent Alexander-Arnold. He is going to punish you. We've seen goals against Manchester City. We've seen goals against the top sides in which this Englishman has scored. And it's all about what he has done, being deliberate with his gameplay. He, alongside the other fullback, Robertson, you know, they actually gave that tactics of the get pressing under Jurgen Klopp, where the 2 and 3s, all they do is cross the ball into that the box 18 at the yards to find the strikers or the attackers for their side. But for me, Trent Alexander-Arnold, truly, he is a man in which I'm impressed him. I like him. So he has done everything also well for me, or that's with Liverpool Football Club. But just that, a lot of people also question him. Leaving now, is it the best for him? What is next for Trent Alexander-Arnold? And you actually pick out the question of Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk renewing their contract with the Liverpool Football Club. But if you ask me, the smartest of them all happens to be the youngest of them. That's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
What do you mean by that?
Not choosing to stay with Liverpool Football Club.
Those who decide to stay, what's the big deal in them staying?
What's the big deal in them staying? Now, you say what's the big deal in them? You look at, you leave when the ovation is loud. When the ovation is loud.
But for Mo Salah, you think now helping them to win the league,
it's the best,
time for him to take a leave?
It is the best. It is the best. Because if people don't know, what we might likely see from Mohamed Salah next season is a picture of what we've seen in the last 2 months, March and April.
Don't you think that Mo Salah does decide to just weigh it down and say, we've won the league, what's the essence, put in power, put in strength, let me just take it cool and see where it ends?
I don't buy into that. Because if you say that he is losing strength,
no one comes close to him in terms of the goal chart.
No one comes close to him in terms of the goal charts. Well, fine, the man who actually is supposed to be doing this is not fit. That's Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
He's not fit. Alexander Isak, well, he's blowing out and cold in a stretch of games and all that. And then we don't have an hurricane in the league anymore and all that. But if you tell me that Mohamed Salah is doing this in the UEFA Champions League, we saw him over 2 legs against Paris Saint-Germain. What was his level of performance?
Is that how
in the Carabao Cup?
See, just for 2 games?
Peter, I'm not judging him for 2 games. I'm judging him for all he has done from the month of March down to this present moment. Mohamed Salah has scored just once in as much as 6-7 games.
Hold on. I remember taking you on here on this dial a couple of weeks ago, and I said, at the moment, as it stands right now, do you think we'll win the player of the season? And now,
in the English Premier League?
Yes, and I think,
of course,
I remember,
it's still Mohamed Salah.
So, not scoring goals, not playing his A game in the last few weeks.
It's just like a school student. You know, you have 3 terms. Your first time, you do so well. Your second time, you do so well. And in your third term, you are still trying to, you're just finding to
Is
stay.
that what they call the CPG in the university?
Yeah, it's CGPA in the university.
So if you put all that together, it doesn't drop you down to low.
It doesn't drop you down, but your lecturers can still question you that you've done so bad.
Because if you have hit 4.2, and then the third
Peter,
time came,
I'm not saying Mohamed Salah is not
3.8,
deserving. I'm not saying he's not deserving of being the best player in the English Premier League this season, nor being the African player of the season. You know, it is way more than that now. At the early stages, we were looking at the Ballon d'Or contention.
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah, Rafinha. Those were the 2 names that were there.
My lips.
But then, you look at the man who has kept on that consistency for the entire season. We are in the month of May. Look at Rafinha. He is still doing it. Look at Mohamed Salah.
Liverpool also
is
doing
declined.
it. Liverpool just won the league. Barca hasn't won the league.
You know, they were in the quadruple chance for quite long this season, and at the end of the season, it's just down to 1.
So you put all this blame on Mo Salah?
I'm not putting the blame on Mo Salah, but I'm just telling you that Mohamed Salah was supposed to, or he's supposed, maybe his decision is actually best to him. Maybe he was under pressure and all that from a lot of ex-players or legends within the club.
I remember we're speaking of Mike when we're having that Alexander-Arnold stuff, and we're saying, what's the rationale behind the Egyptian and the Dutchman signing a new deal? Was it down to the fact that clubs never came calling? I never saw any club interested in Mo Salah. The pictures I saw was when they lost to Paris Saint-Germain, when the president of Paris Saint-Germain, 𝐶𝐈𝐒, was having a chat with him in the dugout, and nothing happened. And I never saw anything like Barca or Real interested in him, not even Bayern. Because I said also, one of the things I said is that you don't expect Mo Salah to leave Liverpool Football Club and go play in a club lower than Liverpool Football Club. Let's go pay some bills when we come back. We've still got more headlines to talk about. What a weekend. And for Bayern, maybe not for Bayern because they are traditional winners in Germany. But for Harry Kane, he has never won anything major before. Will this be the first and the last in terms of Harry Kane winning trophies? We'll take a look at that when we come back from this short timeout. 94.9, 32 FM.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Tí wọ́n bá bi ọ́ léèrè pé kí o dárúkọ eré ìdíje géèmù mánigbàgbé tó dángájá, Bẹ̀tánù ni ìdáhùn rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́kọ́jọ́. Ó yá tara ṣàṣà kí ìwọ náà bá wọn jẹ àǹfààní nínú géèmù alárinrin tó fanimọ́ra ní ìpele pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà igba 200,000 owó ìkíni káàbọ̀ àti àwọn ẹ̀bùn mìíràn bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Bẹ̀tánù ayò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Forí pípẹ́ tayò yìí o. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí ọmọ ọdún 18 lọ sókè. Alájọṣepọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ Aston Villa ni wá.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression.
So much happening behind the mic here. I wish I can hear one of these things these boys are saying. Okay, so I was talking about one man who's also a winner. Now we can say confirmed. No longer him waiting. The long wait is over. So this is coming home for the English captain of the side of the Three Lions, SAMIES. What a weekend for Harry Kane and for Eric Dyer, who will be leaving the Bavarians to go play football in the beautiful city of Monaco in France, SAMIES.
Well, I think this day is one that we have all been counted down to since Harry Kane left Tottenham Hotspur 2 seasons ago.
Just a matter of time.
Yeah, just about a matter of time. But it was just so painful that you expected Harry Kane to actually rack up like 6 trophies now, like on paper.
Yes.
But then it happened that he won none, not until this season.
Yeah.
Because the first game was in the DFB Super Cup final against RB Leipzig, where Dani Olmo was the hero for RB Leipzig. Then they lost by 3-0. And then it was just about, they say, the course of Harry Kane of the Bayern Munich. And he didn't win anything the season. The league, the team went invincible for the entirety of the season. And then sort of like, is this thing real? Then it's down to the Lions of England also that, is this thing real? Harry Kane, what can we do with this guy? But then it's just about matter of time. Harry Kane, champion of the DFB Pokal Cup. Of course, the history man, he gets the goals. The goals that follow him statistically. He is good on the field. His gameplay, he is also good. But I am happy for him. But if you ask me who else am I happy for aside from Harry Kane, I would say Vincent Kompany. He's also a man in his first big job. I'll say that I know he coached Anderlecht, he coached Burnley, but you talk about a big job. This is Bayern Munich, and I thought that he was going to falter. This is another league for Bayer Leverkusen to win. But then you can also count on the stroke of luck that was on the side of Bayern Munich this season.
You know that no matter how hardworking you are, you do that element of luck to work. They call it luck. Some say it's grace. All right, so.
And Michael Olise as well. You know, lots of serial winners. No, not first-time winners within. That's the Bayern Munich squad.
Yeah, first time. Michael Olise. Join them from the Eagles. Crystal Palace. We've got a game coming up later tonight. We'll talk about that against Nottingham Forest. So, without wasting time, let's jump into that because I was going to talk about the championship. It's hotting up in England. SAMIES, Arsenal would have hoped that they would have racked up points and, consolidate on second and allow the other boys to struggle. But now it looks like if they're not careful, City might catch up with them and finish second in the league. But quickly here, quickly here. Let's quickly wrap up about how it's all ended. Villa won the game earlier on Saturday. Chelsea won yesterday. It's a big win for them. Newcastle didn't get a win. Of course, they got a point. SAMIES did stop for the top 5 now. It's going to maybe go down the wire.
Well, if you look at it, top 5, and even if as the season would go, maybe Arsenal fans can be excited that they actually put themselves in a position where, if anything happens, bad comes to us, they will still qualify for the UEFA Champions League for next season because by virtue of their victory against the Real Madrid, they made it 5 teams competing in the UEFA Champions League for that's next season. But aside from that, I look at the level of performance from Arsenal Football Club. Like 9 of the 14 draws they've played this season, 13 draws, 9 games, they've actually been at the winning position. And Arsenal eventually dropped points in.
Does it have to do with mental block?
From the early stages of the season, few folks were giving excuses of officiating and PGML this and that. But then from what I've been seeing also from the Arsenal team, maybe it's all about the setup, the stubbornness, and also maybe lack of discipline. Yes, it's also one of those things you can pinpoint that has hindered Arsenal from progressing at this season, and they only have just the one lifeline. But you talk about other sides. For Chelsea, it was a great victory for them yesterday. Guard of honor. I talked about it this morning. I said it's about the respect and the disrespect. You know, you respect a side by giving them a guard of honor, and then you get onto the field, you disrespect them. Scoring.
Yesterday when the result came through, I said, okay, you got the guard of honor. We're going to vent on you. Yeah. And that's the good thing about Chelsea. And that's what I love about the result. Yes, Chelsea will not see, they're not in the class of Southampton and Leicester, Bournemouth, Brentford. You say, with all due respect to those clubs, they're smaller clubs.
Of course.
But when you see a Chelsea, Arsenal would have said, we don't want to have that to happen. So they won't be having that. But Chelsea will be saying, we're also big in this class, but we have to do it, right? And then they did it. And I said, for me, I was the manager of Chelsea, I said to the players, let's go there, have it done. But on the pitch of play,
get the results.
So that's what happened yesterday. It was a comprehensive win for Chelsea between Liverpool. I don't tell me that Liverpool was a second string. I don't care. All they had on yesterday was a Liverpool jersey. SAMIES, we're beginning to wind down on the show. Let's jump to what other news in terms of hotting up. In Italy, it's hotting up. I know the hotting up might be Napoli, like, are they going to let this slip away from them? It doesn't look like it. But how about in the top 4 also? Because in March, day 36, coming up this weekend, there are interesting ties, SAMIES, that might decide how this all will end. Bologna, Atalanta, Roma.
Juventus.
And the biggest for me has to do with Claudio Ranieri is Roma. 19 games they've gone. He joined the side when they were struggling in the relegation zone, close to it. They sacked the Croatian head coach, who later joined Southampton. And of course, he ended up putting the Saints in the championship. So, SAMIES, how much of a kudos do you want to give to Claudio Ranieri? Because it's like he's putting the string. We saw what they did to Inter Milan, where they won by goal to nil. And last night at home, they won against Fiorentina by goal to nil.
A boyhood AS Roma fan. Yes, he started his football career there, and you talk about how much more this man has gone. But you talk about 19 games under Claudio Ranieri. But I tell you that in the entirety of the year 2025, and maybe they only remain this side without a defeat yet from the start of 2025. They've done so well. And I look at it that maybe AS Roma were right all along, firing 2 managers from the early stages of this season before getting at the veteran, that's Claudio Ranieri, to come and save their season. And it has been a good one. The players are there. Players keep coming in and out, talking about Ndika, who was out for a while, their defender, Paulo Dybala, in and out of the side. And then I think El Shaarawy is still there. You mentioned a lot of these guys. There's a Pellegrini there also. You mentioned these guys. They are good lads. And Claudio Ranieri is just managing AS Roma well. And he has come out to say that at the end of the season, he is retiring officially, because he retired last season and they still came back just to save AS Roma.
This one is confirmed.
This one is confirmed. The retirement. Yeah, and it would be so good
somebody
for
better
him.
Look them up somewhere, because if club side in Italy, because I can count the number of club sides.
No, I think he said that
Valencia,
the only reason
Chelsea,
why he came back into coaching was because of AS Roma. He can't reject AS Roma.
And I hope that when
Leicester don't come calling.
Not Leicester now. Maybe when Roma don't do well, because I'm getting news that the name of Cesc Fabregas is on the names, is on the lips of the board in Roma.
Well, you can give a big kudos also to Cesc Fabregas.
Yes,
5 games, 5 victories,
and
then first season they were not the big spenders. Did they even really spend much?
They had Rafael Varane, who retired.
They had Pepe Reina, and so they're still in the league.
There's Cochoni too.
They're still in the league, and you talk about being a good season.
But interestingly, they got this boy from Real Madrid on loan,
Nico Paz.
So maybe some of those boys will decide to want to stay one more with Cesc Fabregas. So
Dele Alli's there also.
Okay, all right, Dele Ali. Okay, can't remember when the game. Let's wrap up the show with some news away from football. SAMIES. Let's start with Formula One. I went down in Miami. It was a weekend for Piastri. Got his job done. But what's going on with Max Verstappen?
What's going on with Max Verstappen? You know, you talk about the Dutch man, and I just flick back to last season where there was that stretch of 7 races without a victory, he finished on the podium, but not in good positions to solidify Constructors' Championship for that's talking about the Red Bull. But you look at what he has done what he did last year, and how you actually see him struggling this year as well. It is one thing that I was actually saying that maybe not going to be a good season for the Red Bull, because he was the only one who carried the name of the Red Bull last season. He was not winning. The other driver was not winning. So it's just about that. And this season, you know, maybe before the race, I was anticipating the Formula One season. And then it's just that the McLaren picked off from where they ended last season. They are doing so well. Of 6 races, 4 wins for Oscar Piastri. And then talk about the constructor standings. It is shouting, oozing, all McLaren. And I don't think if this goes on for another 6 races, I don't think there will be any constructors so close to the McLaren or even Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris for the 2025 Formula One season.
I don't want to talk about Lewis Hamilton this afternoon.
Struggling with the Ferrari, of course. And, well, you talk about the constructors. I think he's had a bigger communication problem with them, the communication and the others. You know, these constructors, the engineers, they give orders to drivers. But the drivers are the ones there also. Maybe they know better. And maybe Lewis Hamilton is not really enjoying the level of communication on radio with the constructors and the engineers.
Get the signals clear so you can hear everything going on. Today in England, there will be one game in London. Palace will be playing against Nottingham Forest. These two will probably, or one of these two would have wished he's playing in the FA Cup final, but that's not the case. Palace in the final of the FA Cup, Nottingham Forest is a no-no. All right, so in Italy, one game tonight, Genoa, led by Patrick Vieira, will play against AC Milan, who are 9th on the table. They have no place at the moment, except they get to win the Coppa Italia, and that will be against Bologna. And of course, La Liga tonight in the city of Barcelona, Girona will be up against Real Mallorca. In the Under-20 Nations Cup, in the next few minutes, Central African Republic will take to the pitch against DR Congo. Ghana later tonight for 7 will play against the Young Teranga Lions of Senegal. We'll have to go for now, but we'll be back 7:45 on Tuesday morning. But go know we have still got more interesting package lined up for you. Krista will be here between the hours of 5 to 6 again. And of course, before that, there will be Kenny and Denica here in the next few minutes for Home Run. I am Peter Omar. I've done this with SAMIES.